Hi, my name is Mr. D, and today I want to take a look at how to use the Pythagorean Theorem. So we have find the missing variable in each right triangle below. We have one triangle with sides 6, 8, and x, and we have another right triangle with sides y, 30, and 34. So to find these missing variables, we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem, which states when we have a right triangle with sides a, b, and c, then those sides have to satisfy the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now the most important one out of all three of these in terms of doing this correctly is the hypotenuse. To identify the hypotenuse, you start at the right angle, which is given by this box shape here, and we go opposite to find the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the triangle. So we're going to see with these examples. For the first example, most students will be able to do this correctly. You set up 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to x squared. Remember, they have to satisfy this equation, the three sides of the right triangle, but notice that the hypotenuse in this case, opposite the right angle, is x, so it's going to the right of our equal sign. So just make sure that the hypotenuse is on the right side of the equal sign. So to simplify, 6 times 6 is 36, 8 times 8 is 64, and this is equal to x squared. When we add 36 and 64, we have 100. So then remember, to get rid of a square, the opposite of squaring something is taking the square root. So we'll take the square root of both sides, which tells us that x is equal to the square root of 100, and the square root of 100 is 10. And remember, the reason why the square root of 100 is 10 is because 10 times 10 equals 100. So with this first example done, now we're going to move over to the second example. But a lot of students, this one was put second for a reason. When students get this wrong, they're going to write 30 squared plus 34 squared equals y squared. But I'm telling you, the first thing you want to identify with these problems before you use the equation is the hypotenuse. So you start at the right angle, and you're going to go opposite the right angle, and your hypotenuse is 34. So when you're using this equation, you're squaring the hypotenuse. You're going to have 34 squared on the right hand side. So now when you're doing this, on the left hand side you're going to have y squared, our unknown variable, plus 30 squared, and this is set equal to 34 squared. So remember, draw the dotted line to identify your hypotenuse, and make sure your hypotenuse is on the right hand side, and you'll use this theorem correctly. So now we have y squared plus 30 times 30 is 900 equals 34 times 34 is 1156. So now to solve for y, we're going to subtract 900 from both sides. So on the left hand side we have y squared is equal to 256. We take the square root of both sides to solve for y. And now we have y equals 16. Guys, one thing, later on when you're taking the square root of a term like x squared and y squared, it gets a little bit more complicated, but since we're talking about distance, we could just go ahead and say that the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of y squared is y. So we have both of our answers, x equals 10 and y equals 16, and this is going to wrap up this problem. Okay, well thank you all for watching, and I hope that this video was helpful.